This lady who comes to the pool I work at abandoned her mentally disabled son. So I'm a lifeguard at my local gym's pool, and I tend to work evenings. Anyways, yesterday evening, this woman comes in with her teenage son. After a few minutes, it's pretty clear that he has some sort of mental disability, based on how she's handling him and how he's acting. She had to lead him to the hot tub. He's making these incoherent noises, seemingly random, etc. So she goes outside to the lounge parents tend to sit at when their kids swim, and goes on her phone. Eventually, the kid wants out, and he walks over to the door and stands there in front of it. It takes her a full 3 minutes to look up from her phone and to see him standing there waiting for her to dry him off and whatnot. She gets up, and instead of doing that, she guides him back to the hot tub, shoos him away, and goes back to her phone and couch. After a bit of hesitation, he does so and swims for about 15 more minutes. That time has come, and he wants out again and does the same door routine. Other than one woman getting out of the pool with her kid, the pool is empty, so I feel comfortable getting out and trying to get her attention. One problem, she's not there. She left him there. I couldn't leave the pool, so I decided to get this other just leaving woman's attention to see if she can help. I explain the situation, she seems fairly concerned too, and goes off to walk to the locker room. After a few minutes of this, and keeping said kid from diving into the shallow end of the pool, great, she abandoned him and he's trying to break his own neck. This amazing woman comes back with the bailing mum. Mum doesn't even come in, she just opens the door and, clearly annoyed at being called on her behaviour, calls for her kid before I have a chance to chew her out. Mum won't let me go to the doctor. Update. So my father responded to me, thank God, and took me to the doctor after what I think was an argument between my parents. I barely overheard them as I was in a closed room upstairs, but it would seem to me that my mum began threatening my father with suicide, basically guilt tripping. After an extensive medical checkup, the doctor told me that sure enough it's the influenza virus, the flu. I've been prescribed some medication, such as Tamiflu, and I've been put to rest, not to death, at my father's house. I'm positive that I'll live, but another problem has arisen. It's obviously my mum, and now she's threatened to break and throw away my stuff unless I come back. As if I want to die. No fucking thank you. Honestly, I doubt she's going to do it because she's been trying to steal some of my stuff, like my Galaxy Buds, sometimes my food, my socks, even my phone, and use it like she owns it. So she's probably going to hide away my stuff and use it when nobody's watching. I'm still a little nervous for my PS4 and laptop, since my mother doesn't need them. I really hope she won't sell them, but I'll be sure to call the police or something if she does. I'm going to be spending my time at my father's house until I get better, then I'll go retrieve my items immediately. I'm currently lying in bed and I feel a little bit better after a rest, but I still feel weak and from time to time experience a headache. For all those people who try to support me and give me advice, thank you. Maybe I will call the local Child Protective Services, but not now. Thanks for reading my story, and if anything else happens, I'll be sure to write about it. Good day. Entitled Mother yells at me when I did nothing. So basically, my church was having a covered dish one afternoon, and me and my younger cousin were outside screwing around. I was pretending to arrest him and pressed him up against a car that was the preacher's old one that sat there constantly. Like, half an hour later, this mum comes up to us and told us that her daughter, who's like 6, said we were jumping all over the cars. Not pressing each other on one in the car for like 5 seconds, full on jumping on all the cars. We explained that we weren't, but she claimed that she looked at the surveillance cams and saw us. I was like, okay, bye. I asked our preacher about the cameras, he said they haven't worked in years. Another time, the entitled mother's daughter ran around hitting us with sticks, not twigs, sticks, and gave us all the bruises and red marks. Eventually, I told her to go away and stop beating us. The entitled mother came over and yelled at us for bullying her daughter. Kid also destroys boards and stuff around our church, which I end up getting the blame for. So sick of that kid. It's my birthday, so I can do what I want. If you remember me, I posted about my best friend getting bit by a horse and her mum telling me that my new friend knew how to feed a horse. Well, I have another one. I do remember that. That was a couple of videos ago. This happened 2 years ago, and it was the mum's birthday. It's actually 2 days before mine. That year, I was being homeschooled, and so was my friend. Still is. I went back to school. There's another whole thing entitled Story Theirs. Anyway, we were driving back to this youth thing to do art. We were in the bus-only lane, when only buses can turn. Well, we were in that lane, and guess what the mum said? It's my birthday, I can do whatever I want. Not how it works, Karen. Entitled mother tries to take my priority seat. Priority seats are for the disabled, elderly, expecting mothers, and those with infants. That's what the sign on the train said, and something important to remember. I was on the subway in Japan, and you can tell by looking at me that I'm a disabled person. I use a custom-made brace on my leg, a cane, and a back brace. To put it simply, I'll be losing the ability to walk soon, and I want to do as much as I can. After a day of sightseeing, I get on a subway and see that there's a priority seat still left. Seeing that there's no elders heading to sit it, I sit down, and God, it felt good. Now, I'll be on this train for about an hour, and I pulled out my phone to read. Entitled mother gets on at the next stop with a man, a stroller, and a boy looking maybe 7. Seeing that she has to find up her she looks annoyed. But seeing that there's no seats open, she looks downright pissed. One look at me, I'm 25, and look it. She begins to scoff and say loudly, "I thought there was priority seating in this train. Guess me and my child can't sit down. Would be nice to have priority seating available for mothers." Some look at her with clear confusion, but I don't get up, and neither do the elders. But she decides to move an inch or two closer to me and demands I get up. I tell her firmly that priority seating covers disabilities too, and that just because she has a child doesn't make her special. She tries to get people to sympathise with her, but no one is looking at her. When she tells me I'm not disabled, that I'm just fat. I opened up my brace enough to reveal a very large and bruising scar. She palled, and as I got off the train, I made sure an elderly man got my seat. "Fuck you, Karen." Added information, this was another tourist, I am assuming, not trying to say she couldn't possibly live there, but appearance and attitude screamed tourist to me. And I'm sorry if it seems like I was implying invisible disabilities don't exist. I do understand they do, but she made it seem like she was using her child just for the sake of sitting down. Hey, thanks for watching to the end. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead. I always see them. I always enjoy engaging with them. You can subscribe if you want, if you choose to. No, there's no pressure to. Or you can click one of the other videos on the screen now. Or you may even have a favourite subreddit that you'd like covered.